Jonathan, let me stay with you and go to the back page of the Daily Telegraph, and their headline is Chelsea link with Saudis investigate. So obviously, off the back of we're talking there about Newcastle's interest in Sandro Tonali, this story that the Premier League sought written assurances that PIF, the Public Investment Fund, was not part of Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital's takeover of Chelsea. That's according to Telegraph Sport, and especially because of certain things that they picked out. For example, the Saudi Pro League's interest in a host of Chelsea players. But they say here England's top tier is understood to be satisfied that there is no conflict of interest. What's your take on this story?
Well, there's a limit to what we can legally say about this, and it's not quite clear at this stage what exactly is meant by written assurances. That did they ask Clearlake, are you sure the Saudis aren't involved? Are you sure? Are you really sure? Can you just write that down? We don't know what happened at this stage. I mean, what is kind of beyond doubt at this point is that the way that Premier League clubs are owned and funded, and the transparency of the money that's going into them is absolutely not fit for purpose. And this is across the board. This is not a dig at Chelsea. We simply don't know in a lot of cases if it's an investment vehicle or an investment fund, what exactly is the source of that money? And the Premier League currently doesn't have the powers to compel that kind of information. And that's how we've got ourselves into this mess. It may well not be that Saudi Arabia are pulling the strings of Todd Boehly and getting all its players to sign for the Saudi Pro League. But until we have that transparency, there is always going to be that kind of question mark over things like this.
Tom, what about you on this story, but also generally on this talking point of the influence of Saudi Arabia, not just in football, but in investment in all of sport right now?
Yeah, well, I think for Chelsea individually, as that's a club, the hole that they had got themselves into, spending £600 million in the last two transfer windows, the fact you have an offer of £100 million for 5 players on the table from the Saudi Pro League immediately, helping them to get out of that hole, essentially, it means that it needs to be looked into and explored. And we've seen a significant shift over the last few days, weeks, with the investment from the Saudi Pro League, from hiring and signing players right at the end of their careers, like Ronaldo, like Benzema, stars, to attracting players like Ruben Neves. And that doesn't feel quite healthy for European football at the moment. And of course, that comes from a selfish perspective in some ways.